immunocompromised and who recently tested positive for COVID, returned to his show yesterday and addressed some of the hate mail, believe it or not, he has received because he has been urging his viewers to get vaccinated.
I had touched on something that is akin to the third rail of politics, this whole issue of mandates and forcing people to get vaccinated. I didn't necessarily want to go there. I did want more of you unvaccinated to get vaccinated so there's no threat of going there. Can you update me on what the reaction has been?
Well, it's been kind of divided, Neil. Our first email comes from John in New Orleans, who says, "Heard you're back on the show this week. That's too bad." So that's not very nice, but I figured we'd kick it and start off with a kicker. We've got TJ, who also emails. "It's clear you've lost some weight with all this stuff. Good for you. But I'm not happy with less of you. I want none of you. I want you gone, dead, kaput. Finite, get it? Now take your two-bit advice, deep six it, and you." That's rather harsh, Neil.
Whoa.
So, but I figured I'd relay that to you.
For the Sopranos prequel? Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, at least Neil Cavuto can laugh about it. Eddie, I mean, it goes to show that a man who has stepped out, who's immunocompromised, and said, you know, this could have cost me my life had I not been vaccinated. You can point to John King at CNN, who's made the same impassioned pleas. To hear those men who have, in John King's case, he announced that he has MS, to hear those guys and to somehow twist that into hate mail and that they're out to get other people, it speaks to the rot that is in so many places, that has been cultivated on social media, on some cable news channels, on talk radio, that is in this country.
Absolutely, and there seems to be an ongoing loyalty test. You have to prove your membership in the tribe over and over again. Yeah. And no matter your political position, you could easily be excommunicated. Right. And what we see here is cancel culture. The cancel culture that so many people kind of attribute to the left. We're seeing it very clearly right here in this moment.
Those sound like the tweets that I get for way too early when we ask why you were still awake. But jokes aside, I mean, it does. It is nauseating to have someone wish for someone else's death because they disagree with their political position. And it comes, and we should be reflective of where the Republican Party is right now. Sure, there have been some voices that have said, like, look, like Leader McConnell, who have said, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. Others have really swallowed their words. Former President Trump, let's remember, he got his first shot behind closed doors. That set the tone here. And he later briefly stepped out and encouraged some of his supporters to do so. And then he appeared at a rally in Alabama and was booed. And then since then, he has stopped. He's leaned behind independent, like, hey, well, everyone makes their own decision. You know, I took it for me, but so on. And he has stopped talking about it at all. This is no longer something that he wants to do because, just like masks, it has become the latest cultural flashpoint. And there seems like no sign of it going away.
And Mika, all these politicians, all these cable news hosts, most of these radio hosts, they've all been vaccinated.
They've all been vaccinated.
They've all been vaccinated. They probably have 3 shots, actually. But yet, the politicians are afraid of the base and the voters. The cable news hosts are afraid of their viewers. And so we're left with this discourse.
This discourse, and also the concern that our children are not going to get vaccinated, which could be the ultimate game changer for this country. And we're going to go through this all over again now that there's a vaccine coming up for children. But to the point that everybody is making and how all these stories come together, even the Bolsonaro one, the Trump administration was distracted by last year's election and ignored recommendations to fight the coronavirus pandemic. That's according to the White House COVID-19 response coordinator under former President Trump, Dr. Deborah Birx.